All right. Well, I cannot live stream on TikTok right now. So that sucks. What's going on? What's going on? I was excited to get back live streaming on TikTok. It's down though, so for now, I'm just gonna be over on here. Let's see. Let me open up my dock. YouTube live control. There we go. I'm just gonna be on here for now. We'll let some people get in here and then we'll go over what's going on. Actually, let me put on some. Although everyone's back over on TikTok, probably expecting me to go live over there. And it's live features, not even live on my phone, live on TikTok Studio. Nothing's working over there. So let me see here. Let's go. Probabilistic of 4+ inches, moderate, high. I'm excited too. It's been kind of like grapple, freezing rain, not freezing rain, but mixing outside where I live, just north of Philly right now. But it's going to transition over very, very quickly. Let me see real quick if it'll let me, if the live's up over there. I think it's down though. I think it's still down. Yep, unable to. Man, they're really going to put TikTok back up and not allow you to go live on it. That's like my whole thing. All right, I'm going to get into all this in a second. Lots of fun updates. Let's see. I want to get some of these graphics up. You were on TikTok, Lisa? Yeah, I tried. I dual stream to TikTok, and it's TikTok's back up, but the live feature is not working. So we're gonna get into it on here. Yeah, there's a little bit of snow falling through this area, northern Georgia, but it's light stuff. We'll see what happens with our storm in the beginning of the week. Lake effects starting to kick in up near Grand Rapids. Traverse City in Michigan. It's going to start up over near Buffalo soon. Erie got a little bit moving through east of Cleveland. I want to fix a couple things on this radar real quick before I get into everything. Weather alerts, winter weather alerts. We'll see. We'll keep some of these blizzard warnings, winter storm warnings. Okay. This, I believe, is a blizzard warning just to the west of Harrisburg. Lancaster's getting heavy snow band right now. This stuff is going to be moving on out east. Panda, TikTok is back. Yep. TikTok is back, but it's not allowing, I'm pretty sure, anyone to go live. So I have to stay live on here for now. I'm not sure why. Let me look that up really quick before I get started. If anyone has an answer for that. Let me see if there's an answer for that. Is there an answer for this? Sorry, guys. I'm going to go over everything in just a second. I just want to get an answer for this. let me show you what our latest what we're looking at here. Updated totals for the Northeast, for the South. This is interesting. They shifted pretty far north. Yeah, I'll get Charlotte in a second. Let me see if Twitter has an answer for this, or X, TikTok, Live. So I'm trying to get on both. Latest. Yeah. Still blah 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 blah. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we're not going live right now. We're on. I guess we're not going live on TikTok. My weather app shows no snow for the next 10 days. Yeah. Well, I never. Don't pay no attention to your weather app. We'll go over this. There's a chance for snow, so we'll go over what the chance is. It's your weather app's just gonna say yes or no. It never says what the odds are, or what the outcomes could actually be. That's why it's a frustrating thing to look at. Okay. Here's what's going on down there. Down in Charlotte. Your latest National Weather Service snow forecast still gives a chance for about a half an inch in Charlotte. This is because we still have some models that bring the snow line up here, up a little bit to the north. I think our European ensemble still does that. TikTok has ended it, and so is your hustle and passion. What? Look at this. Who is this person? Golden Phoenix. Hope you're having a good day, buddy. Trolls. Okay. Feel sorry for people like that on the internet, honestly. Unfortunate situation. So let's go down here really quick and push back down. Let's go back down to let's go to our European ensemble. Actually, here, I'll go into Weather Bell. This will be a better one to look at. Let's go into probabilities, winter, intramore. Go back down to the southeast. Nice. Let's go back down to the southeast. Now, your latest European ensemble is still giving Charlotte a chance for snow. There is still a chance for snow. It's not very high, but your latest European ensemble gives you about a 20 to almost 30% chance. Probably, I would say this is better, 10 to 20% chance of an inch or more of accumulation in Charlotte. And this is what's interesting too in the National Weather from the National Weather Service. If we go into what's the high end, this is a 10% chance of happening. This would be a 10%. So your National Weather Service still gives a 10% chance for 1 to 2 inches into Charlotte. And, you know, if you did see, like I said, any precip that would be falling through Charlotte would be falling as purely snow, because you wouldn't have the mixing sleet or freezing rain issue like you had last time, because the low would be so far down here to the south. This is where your warm air sector would be, down here, not up here. Last time you had your warm air, you had some warm air enter into the mid layers of the atmosphere near Charlotte and transitioned a lot of that snow that was falling, that should have fallen and stuck, over to freezing rain. So any precip that falls in Charlotte would just be snow. But again, you know, your chances are down to about 10 to 20% to seeing an inch or more of accumulation. Here's your low end. Look at the low end. Yeah. So that's interesting. We got some new models out today. The Euro. Let's go over the Euro, the latest Euro 12Z. Here we go. Euro 12Z down here. Same type of look. We got the Euro to shift north, but it stopped. The trend didn't continue. So here's our look. Interesting. It did shift somewhat north in Georgia. That came up a tiny bit. So, it still wants maybe a half inch into Atlanta. Again, you wouldn't have mixing issues. You would have zero mixing issues. The Euro tends to be the most accurate. Yeah. The Euro tends to be the most accurate. So 7 or 8 out of 10 times it is. So 70-80% of the time. So it still wants to give a half inch into Georgia. Now, you could have overperformances on the north end of the snow line, because the north end of the snow line, again, isn't going to deal with sleet or freezing rain or mixing issues. The south end is where you'll see totals actually lower potentially than what you see here, because some of that precipitable water is going to be converted into sleet mixing and not into snow. Snow should start in Philly in like 20 minutes, potentially. You can see on our radar here, there's a heavy snow band just to the west of Philly. So it's snowing in areas of metropolitan Philadelphia. Now you may need here, guys. So our actual center of our low pressure system is like down. If you're looking on the radar, is down here. I'm over on the middle screen. So as this moves up into the north, here I'll show you actually a better look at this, because it may actually be a little bit longer if that heavy snow stays right out to the west. So our low pressure right now is, you can actually probably see it on the windy map. You can. Here's our low pressure system. Basically right into here. So you've got counterclockwise winds like this, and you've got a warm sector moving into the north, and then as this moves up the coast, and our low gets up here, you have warm air here, but then now you suddenly have cold air being pulled in to DC, Philadelphia. This is where on the back end of the storm is where the heavy accumulations are going to be. So the front end, you're not going to see heavy accumulations. So you have a little bit of snow. We can pull in the radar. You have a little bit. This stuff right here on the back end is going to be probably your first heavy band of snow into Philly. But I do think we're going to actually get some snow that's not showing on the radar right now, forming just to the south of Philadelphia soon as this low moves up the coast. Because the low is deepening. As the low deepens, you're going to start to get a lot more moisture pulled in and a lot more convection through this sector. So it's happening as we speak. The low is deepening. It's getting stronger as it's moving up the coast. Let's see if we can actually see the spin. This center, you can kind of see the center. You can kind of see the center of our low on here. Yep, right about here. Right about here is the center of our low right now. So still some warm air being pulled in. That's why you have some mixing and stuff up near Philly and Jersey as well. One second, guys. Northeast Georgia mountain snow, you can still see with our latest Euro update. This is kind of what I said yesterday. With the system that's moving through right now, you could even get some flurries on the back end. You can actually see it on our radar. If we go over to windy, you can see this on our radar. This stuff down here, there's a little bit of convection. There's a little bit of moisture in the air south of Nashville. This right here is actually going to be a good snow band into Appalachia. And then there's you can see some high cloud tops through here as well. So you could get a little surprise snow up in the northern mountains of Georgia, but that's going to be really, really random where that falls. There's not a ton of moisture available, but your temperatures are so cold up here, or they're dropping very quickly, that if you do get any flakes in the air, you could get a little accumulation just because it's going to be a good snow ratio. This moisture back here may scoop through as well and move up as our low pressure system begins to move up the coast. So I wouldn't expect anything too insane. Now, your second system, again, you know, you can see right here, gives up here in the mountains about a 10 to max 20% chance of seeing about an inch of accumulation. Not the best odds with that. There's still time to see a little bit of shift down here, but the models are starting to really focus in. Here is, this is a little bit funny to look at, but the National Weather Service, this is the high end. This is their high end projections. So this is basically, here's their low end projection. There's a chance for no snow. Now, the odds of this happening are literally, so there's a 90% chance that this doesn't happen. So this is about a 10% chance that there's no snow. This is what they think's most likely right here, which is in very much agreement with the euro. They're basically using the euro. An inch or two through that corridor, maybe some flakes up to the north. If this low begins to strengthen as it moves up the coast, you're going to see that snow line shift to the north. That's why you see this is flattened, and then you see it going farther north up here. It has to do with the mountains. It also has to do with the deepening low. And then here's your high end. I wanted to see snow so bad in Columbia, South Carolina. I know a lot of people do. I know. These things have been changing a lot. Not a lot of model consensus. This snowstorm up in the Northeast came out of nowhere. You actually have winter storm warnings through Appalachia now, guys. Although those may have been there for a while. So, you know, high end. Listen, there's hope. You know, it's not guaranteed we're not going to see a look like this, but it's a very low chance. It's a very low chance. Their models aren't completely agreeing. That's why they still give you a chance for that. But the expected totals are probably going to look more like this. Obviously, this lake effect snow is something we need to talk about as well, because Watertown, Buffalo to the south towards Erie, and then western Michigan. These are some high snow totals, 1 to 2 feet in some areas. So, my son's screaming in the background. What's our latest NAM show here as well? I want to see this. The NAM still keeps this pretty... Wow, the NAM is being really bullish on this. The NAM is being really, really bullish on the snow as well in South Carolina, almost getting it up to kind of central. Let's look at our national blend as well. This is going to be updated for us. Winter... Let's see here. 1 second, guys. This is our latest national blend. Still, I mean, wow, the national blend is still really wants to give a chance for snow farther north in Georgia, Alabama, upstate South Carolina, and out towards Charlotte. Interesting. They still have a lot of models that want to push it north. I'm starting to lose hope on that because we're running. You start to run out of time for a major shift, and we're kind of like I said. I said by the 12Z today, if the euro didn't push more, we probably wouldn't see that shift to the north. So, national blend, there's still models that pull it farther to the north. So that's why the National Weather Service, NWS, is still giving a chance for snow farther to the north because there's not complete model agreement, but that's why it's a low chance. That orange would be like 6 or above. New York City snow. Where's my radar here? I mean, you probably have some mixing happening in New York City right now, I'm assuming. So all snow, it's going to be a while. It's going to be at least a few hours because you still are in the warm sector. So I'm over on Radar Omega now, guys, on the side. You're still in the warm sector, so you're going to get a lot of mixing. The back end of this is when the snow is going to start falling, so it's going to be probably towards the evening time. This system needs to, as it deepens, as this system deepens and the low deepens, the snow line will naturally. So here I'll show you. Let me show you on this. This is probably the best way to go through it. Let's go back up to the northeast. Here we go. And let's get into here. As this low pressure deepens, let me move this over so you guys can see it. You're gonna see. Okay, so watch what happens here. Watch the snow. It's far out west. We have a big empty kind of blanket in here that's either rain or mixing or none. And then watch what happens as we move forward. See how that fills in right away? It just fills right in. Now, if I zoom out, I can kind of show you why that's happening. 1,003 millibar, 1,002, 1,002, 1,001, 1,000. Your low pressure is going to deepen. And when you get a deepening low pressure, it can start to create its own cold air. It doesn't need to wait for the cold air to be pulled in on the backside of this system. It'll start pulling in cold air basically from aloft down to the surface. So as this moves up the coast and the low begins to deepen, that all of that mixing and rain will suddenly shift into snow really quickly. Right now, this wants to give it another 3 to 4 hours into New York for that basically to happen. That consistent snow, 1, 2, yeah, about another 3 hours. We'll have to see that if that timing holds. I think it will. But not only will you be getting the cold air pulled in on the backside, but you'll have a deepening low, which is also going to be pulling in cold air from aloft over your head. So we're going to see a very quick transition in some of these areas from mixing into just heavy snow. And that's why the NWS is still remaining pretty bullish on snow totals in some of these areas. Let's see what the latest HRRR. Here's the latest HRRR still wanting 3 to 4 in New York City. 3 to 4 up from Philly towards New York City. NWS wants a little bit more. As you can see here, NWS still thinks it's possible for, let's see, let's get into New York City. 5 or 6 inches in New York City. I think that might be a little bit hopeful, but, National Weather Service is pretty good. Let me see here. Looked at the models like 30 minutes ago, and it's, yeah. Jackson, Mississippi, they keep saying a dusting, but others are saying more. Yeah, 1 second. Interesting. Let me turn off this warning real quick. These warnings, actually. 1 second, guys. Winter weather, winter alerts. We'll actually turn this off so you guys can see this map better. We'll keep the blizzard warnings on. Okay. Into Jackson. Yeah, your latest from the NWS into Jackson. Is maybe a dusting to a half inch. That looks a little bit different on some of our models. Let's go push down south here. Actually, I'll just go into weather belts to show you guys. That looks a little bit different on some of our models. We'll go U.S. regions, South Central. And we'll take a look. Actually, we should be able to take a look potentially now at our HRRR on here. Let me see. This would be very helpful. Let's see if we can get down here. Okay. We'll go into our NAM. 1 second, guys. I'm going to see if I can get you the best one here. That's 18Z. Not loaded yet. 1 second. HRRR 18. Wow, the HRRR is keeping it very far south. We'll go NAM 12K and push back. Let me look at our Euro ensemble for Mississippi. Yeah, Jackson's going to be tough. There are models that there are European runs that bring an inch into Jackson. But when you look at an ensemble like this, the highest likelihood of getting what these ensembles are saying is going to happen in your blue, in your 1.5 inches up. So in this area. So there are model runs that put an inch through Jackson, Mississippi of accumulation. It's probably closer. It's on the lower end. Like we looked at probabilities before. So probabilities of an inch or more into Jackson. I mean, not bad. Still gives you about a 50% chance on the European ensemble probability. So you could still see it. Really quickly, this looks like... I want to see this really quickly. Let's see the latest band that we have moving through. Yeah, this snow right down here. This is gonna be heavy snow that's gonna be moving up through southeastern PA soon and up towards New York City. This is gonna be associated mostly snow, especially once it gets up to New York City. I know TikTok's back, but it's not letting me live stream. It is not letting me live stream. Live streaming is down on it. Sad the floor panel might see more snow, I know. How is Northeast New Jersey looking? Not too bad. Not too shabby. You can see right here, really central to north, NWS likes 5 to 6 inches. We may see on the low end just based on there's a little bit of more warm air than predicted or projected being kind of pulled into our mid layers up here. But I'd maybe bring that down to 4 to 5. It's still possible central to northern Jersey. Let's see here. Down, it could change 24 hours. Yeah. How much snow is New York City going to get? They're still projected. I mean, the you know, National Weather Service still thinks 5 inches. I think that's high. I would say 4 or under. I think these are very, very high totals. But the back end of this will be pure snow, and the low pressure will be deepening, meaning the snowstorms as they're moving over your head will be strengthening. They'll be literally having moisture fed into them while the snow is falling. So, not impossible. Dom, what's going on? Do you think the snow will fill in to hit Trenton, New Jersey? I mean, Trenton's still looking like what I said before. 4 to 5 is still very possible in Trenton. Judging by the fact that DC got snow and Detroit did not, Mother Nature is clearly aligned. Yeah, right. Treading more south, but we still got a couple more days. Yeah, well, no, I don't really know. We don't have a couple more days. We have like another 12 hours for the southern storm. We really need to see something bump. Like I said, if the 12Z Euro didn't really make a big step north today, we're really out of time. But that, you know, we still have the NWS giving a high-end amount that brings snow very far north. A lot of snow very far north. So that's their temp. They still think it's a 10% chance it shifts that far north. I'd maybe put it less at like a 5%. But weird the NWS being this bullish. Usually I'm more bullish than the NWS. Can you zoom in on Georgia and get snow totals? I mean, yeah, really, this sector is 1 to 2 inches. Predicted by the NWS. Everywhere else would likely just be a dusting. Even this area, though, it's a little bit sketchy. We'll have to see. You may just get a couple bands that move through and drop that amount. Snow doesn't, again, move in just a bulk where it just blankets everyone. You have different bands that drop different amounts. Yeah, this is basically our latest. Our latest European in the south. I'll show you. Our latest European in the south, southeast. Here's our latest Euro run in the south. Which, I mean, still wants a little bit of snow to the north. You can see like this. But this is our latest, yeah, that's our latest Euro in the south. Someone tell me if TikTok Live starts working again. What's the latest models? Let's see. How much snow is New York City going to get? Yeah, we're just talking about that. NWS thinks almost 6 inches. I think that's a lot. I think you should, if you get 4, you'll be happy. But high end, yeah, 6, 7 isn't out of the question. But a lot of warm air being pulled into the mid layers right now over New York City and around the 95 corridor in the mid-Atlantic. These are updated totals. Just north of DC. I made a video talking about all this today, guys. Yeah, but no. Just north of DC. NWS still likes 3 to 4. I may pull off a little bit on that. There's been a little bit of more of rain and mixing in the beginning of the day, so maybe 2 to 3. But National Weather Service can do pretty good in this time frame. I mean, they you know, they know what they're talking about, so we'll take it. What is going on, Eric's? How's Eastern Maryland close to the bay looking? Are we talking about like out here? Over here? It's going to be tough to get any snow. It's going to be tough to get any snow, like really any good accumulation south of DC and east. I think DC may underperform because of mixing that's happening down there right now. But the back end's going to be so cold. Nick, New York City totals. Yeah, you're in the warm sector of the storm. It's supposed to be warm right now. It'll get really, really cold soon. As the low moves up the coast, it'll produce its own cold air, drag it down from the upper layers of the atmosphere, and pull it in from the west. So, you know, NWS still likes 5 to 6. I like 4 to 5 potentially in New York City. Maybe being 15 miles south of Columbia, South Carolina will make a difference. Potentially. I mean, look at this. NWS still likes an inch there. I think it's possible. Our European agrees. Our latest Euro agrees. Let me see here. Our latest Euro agrees with the NWS about an inch. I feel like the NWS is straight up just pulling the Euro data. Honestly, that's what I'm seeing. The snow looks like it's going to pass northern New Jersey. No, it won't. Are you looking at the radar? Look, this bulk of snow here, this stuff that's even rain right here is slowly going to convert over to snow. I'm over on Radar Omega right now, guys. This stuff right here, that's rain. We have cold air being tucked in the back. We have a low pressure system deepening. So this whole bulk of snow right here, you could already see it happening. This is what I was talking about. Watch this area right here. That there was nothing. Look, nothing, right? And then watch. Boom, we're starting to get the snow develop right to the southwest of Philly. So we're about to, this is all going to start shifting a little bit to the east. And this is going to fill in a lot of New Jersey. So, again, you guys have to remember, this storm, the low pressure is moving like this. And as this cold air wraps in behind, this snow line is going to shift east with the low pressure system. So it looks like it's going like this, but it's actually going like this. What's going on, T-Money? Pretty much a big question mark. Is there another storm behind this one? Well, down in the south there is. What's up, Brittany? Yeah, Nick, in the next few hours, it'll be snowing in New York City. It hasn't started snowing where I am either. I'm down near Philly. Actually, well, let me double check. I mean, we've been getting grapple. I mean, it's kind of snowing here. This is expected at this time to be a little bit of mixing and freezing rain. No one panic. The temps, yeah. Even if places are not predicted to get an inch, unless, do we have to worry about anything we do get in Central Alabama freeze due to the temps? You mean like ice? Let me move over here really quick back to our ice mixing sleet. Alabama right now, I don't think there's any models except for maybe the Canadian that wants to put some freezing rain or sleet down to southern Alabama. So I don't think you have to worry about that. But you guys aren't used to how cold these temperatures are getting, so that's going to affect some homes. You know, you have to worry about some kind of pipe bursts and stuff like that in some older homes or some older apartments. So it's best when you have this much of a freeze to have some extra, bottled water, batteries, stuff like that, some extra food in the house, because you can still lose power and you can still lose the ability, lose your water just based on temperatures getting this low in the south because your infrastructure isn't built for it. What are you thinking on eastern North Carolina around the boot? Around the boot? Where's the boot? I lived in North Carolina. I don't know where the boot is. Seth. Just started to snow in southern New York City, switching over from ice to snow. Yeah, that'll slowly keep taking place over the next couple hours. So you think your town will only get a dusting? Well, I want to report after this is over and let me know what you get. When will another new model come out? I'm really wanting Alabama to shift. So, well, listen, models are coming out all day. Your Euro, which I really want to see, and I mean that's every 6 hours. The next Euro is not going to be out for a few hours. But we're starting to get in our short-range models for the South, which is really good. We'll look at that again in a second. How was Sumter, South Carolina looking for snow? Looking like it's going to be a close call for you guys. Looking like it's going to be a close call. NWS likes an inch still, so does the Euro. So, the Euro and the NWS like an inch. Our Euro ensemble probability likes about a 50% chance or more of an inch of accumulation. So, there's your honest answer on how that's going. Not terrible. Now, listen, maybe you get the high end. I doubt it. If you got the high end, you'd end up with 6 inches. But that's like a 10% chance of happening. So we're not gonna hype it up like that. It's not completely impossible, but very unlikely. There's so many different boroughs. Goldsboro. Goldsboro. Again, I think if you got a dusting to half inch, you'd be lucky based on our latest models. But an inch or more with our Euro ensemble still gives you about a 20 to 40% chance for an inch or more. Later today, we're going to get our short range model in through South Carolina and North Carolina, I think. Later tonight, our HRRR. And that'll be helpful to have a short range model. Because our short-range models aren't seeing out to South Carolina and North Carolina with the system yet. They're really only seeing out through Mississippi. Seeing tiny flurries in Middle Tennessee right now. Yeah, not surprised. Not going to do more than flurries, probably not. Yep. You can see flurries in and around Nashville, down to Franklin, Lewisburg. Tullahoma? I don't know how to pronounce that. McMinnville? McMinnville. I'm gonna stop trying to pronounce these names. Cookville. Yeah, there's some flurries in there. You've got some heavy snow moving into Appalachia right now. The mountains out east, in Tennessee and out west in North Carolina. Here we go. This stuff is starting to convert to snow just to the west of Wilmington, moving up towards Philadelphia. So this is when it's going to start cranking up for Philly and eventually soon moving into Jersey. DC should be starting to see more snow in a little bit. This stuff back here is converting into purely snow. And this heavy band's moving through Harrisburg, through Lebanon, Reading. Heavy band of snow about to move through Allentown up towards Jim Thorpe. The boot is Wayne County, south of Raleigh. Oh, I had no idea. Even half an inch shuts down all of South Carolina. Yeah, I know. I lived in Charlotte, and that's how it was. Like an inch shuts everything down. I mean, even half an inch. Charleston area. Let's get back over here. Charleston area, the NWS still likes 2 inches. So does the Euro. The Euro model likes like 3 inches into Charleston. So, they're holding snow on the coast, which is surprising this long, but they are still holding snow on the coast. This does happen sometimes. So Charleston's a pretty good area to be if you want to see some accumulating snow. Do you think Norfolk, Virginia will get much? 1 second. What is my son doing out there? Yeah, you're not going to get any with this first system, potentially the second. Right now, they have Norfolk getting 1 to 2 inches NWS. European model. Our Euro... Let me go into here. Surface, winter. Our Euro's not putting that much snow into Norfolk, so... I'm probably... Am I saying that wrong? I don't think I am. Maybe I am. So that's a little bit of a question mark again. We need short range models to tell us what's going to go on up here right now. So, but the Euro, there is a lot of model consensus now on this strip, a lot more than we had yesterday. So I think it's a lot safer to look at. Let me take a sip of my coffee. Happy Sunday, everyone. For anyone who doesn't know, TikTok is back, but not allowing anyone to go live. Not allowing anyone to go live. Wilson NC. Tough out here in North Carolina. We need to get into short ranges. This is a pretty sharp cutoff of 1 to 2 inches. Almost 1 to 3 as we get out towards the coast. You know, it's funny. Central North Carolina, you got snow out here already this year, and then we're going to see some snow out here. And the Central North Carolina is just going to end up being screwed. I think we'll get another southern snowstorm, though, this season. No problem, Seth. Late tuning in today. Too late for a northern shift. It's not too... So at this point, the storm doesn't look like we're going to get a big northern shift down south. But if you get a low that's deepening, even without a northern shift, it'll push that snow to the north, even though the low pressure isn't moving to the north. So we're starting to get consensus on our low kind of moving up the coast like this. So, okay, our snow line's here. Now, if this is projected to be 1,001 millibar low right here, if the projection on how deep this low is wrong, say it's actually a 997 here, that immediately pushes this snow line up like this, because with a deepening low, you're pulling a lot more moisture in, and you're getting a lot. Your snow field is expanding. So we don't necessarily need our system to track farther north as much as now we would need it to deepen more than expected, meaning we would want it to want to see moving forward a little bit more of a negative tilt in our models, which is still possible, which is why you still have the NWS highlighting areas up here for snow, because that's not completely projectable. That's pretty hard to project. And that's why you still have these high-end totals looking like this of what they think could be possible. So, but expected amount right here is a much better thing to look at, so you don't get your hopes up and your dreams crushed. The Sean just gave a boot. Yeah, I didn't know that. Athens, Texas. Takes me a lot longer to do this one. I don't know. I don't know all these cities' names. Okay, southeast of... Yeah, I don't know. That it's going to be tough for you to get snow there. Although if you're not going to get any mixing, sleet or anything like there down in Athens. So, if you get anything, a dusting to a half inch probably. But again, you're not going to have to deal with mixing, freezing rain or sleet like you might have to down here. So, with how cold the air is going to be up here, someone up here is probably going to get a surprising accumulation up to an inch. But it's just going to be a passing snow shower. So, Fayetteville. I mean, you guys can see on here. This is it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to get snow to the west of this. Let me move this over. It's going to be tough to get snow in North Carolina to the west of this. Not just because I'm taking the National Weather Service at its word, but we're 48 hours or less, about 48 hours out right now with the Euro, and the Euro agrees with the NWS. Now, I think the NWS may just be pulling from the Euro, but there's a little bit more model consensus on this. So again, I think there's a greater chance of the snow line shifting north out here, because this is when we see our low start to ride up the coast. This is when you can get a deepening low. So again, you can get an expanding snowfield like this. It's possible, 10 to 20% chance maybe, that we see that snow line shift to the north if our low, gets down to maybe 996 out here and really starts to deepen. When will we see snow in Central Jersey today, and how much? Next couple hours. We'll see it moving in. You can see what's happening right now. And this is exactly what I just said was going to happen about 15 minutes ago. Remember I said there was a big empty, I'm on Radar Omega, there was a big empty hole right here, and it would fill in. We had here we go. Big band is setting up just to the south of Philly. This is going to ride up 95 straight up to New York City, and this should bring behind it some snow into Central Jersey as well. South Jersey is going to be the latest on getting snow, because you're going to get the snow that's way far on the back end moving up the coast. So Central Jersey is going to see snow before South Jersey. But heavy snow is about to begin moving into Philly, up towards Trenton, up towards New York City, and that snow will expand into Central Jersey soon. Southeast VA not getting much. There's still potential. There's still potential for Southeast VA. We don't have any short range models for Southeast VA, and ensembles. There are still model runs that put 2 to 3 inches in the Southeast VA, so Southeastern Virginia. So yeah, I'm not ready to say that you're not going to have a good snow event, because we have a decent amount of model runs that still like snow in the area, and I could still see the low deepening as it moves up the coast. So I pronounced it right. Okay. I'm so far behind, guys. I need to go through. I'm like responding to people like 10, 15 minutes after they post, because it's okay. I need to just do speed round again. Can I do that? I can't just get into specific. So, there's a lot of specific cities. What website are you using? This is NOAA's website, National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, to see the National Weather Service snow total projections. But then we have, this is windy. This is good for live radar. Ooh, look at this snow that's about to move into Philly. Look at this. Look at this band. Speaking of that, look at this band right here. This is going to move up and into Central Jersey as well. There we go. That's the moisture we're looking for. That's the moisture. This band right here is very heavy. Sorry, I'll get back to your question. This band right here is very, very heavy. Down here, it's not all snow right now, but as this cold air pushes in, it will be. And this is probably going to be the first one that starts putting a little bit of snow into southern Jersey. I use Weather Bell right here. This is Weather Bell. I use Pivotal Weather, Weather Bell, Windy, NOAA, Radar Omega is my radar that's on the side, all sorts of stuff. Why are snow totals going down for the eastern storm? You mean this one that's up here moving through? They're not really going down. They've gone down in some areas, but they've gone up in some areas. If you mean the southeastern storm, it just has to do with, we're not getting as much negative tilt as we thought we might as it moves off the coast. So these snow totals are still pretty decent from the NWS with our northeastern system, though. This, if you don't know, the yellow is when you get to about 6 inches. The dark blue is 4 to 5. Once you get into your lighter blues, you're getting down to 1 to 3. So, and then your extreme light blue is like a dusting to an inch is possible, but the orange is up to 8 inches. I'll take out the last one. Yeah. Donald Coleman. Yeah, Central NC is and South Carolina getting screwed. Eastern Central New Jersey totals. It's gonna be tough because you're really on that. I'd say your baseline is gonna be 1 to 2 inches. I'd expect you to get that, no less. But it'll be tough. with a little bit of the mixing out there. You could get up to 4 inches on the high end if you're lucky with some of these snow bands. All right, I've missed a lot of comments. So is Windy good? Started using that last. Windy for live radar is great. I love this look. Really helps you like with the clouds and the actual like surface. It's a pretty radar, and I like it even though you can't tell what's rain or snow on this. If you understand how this is working, you know, this is our rain snow cutoff basically right now. So these bright yellows really help you to show where the strongest bands are. Windy does really good at seeing cloud tops and the big, strong convection. That's why I'm looking right here, just south of Philly, and I know the cold enough air is moving in for all snow now, and you're seeing these brighter yellows and greens. This is going to be big snow moving in through here. It does a lot of other things that are really good. I love their the 3D map when I explain stuff sometimes. And they're working on a lot of new stuff too. They have a lot of great stuff, especially for hurricane season, lightning strikes, and also they just have a lot of different cool things. Ocean temps that a lot of other apps and sites won't show you accurately. So it's pretty good. Sorry, I know I missed a bunch of comments. I got to get back down to the bottom of chat. Audrey, hey Connor, what's going on? How's Northern Delaware looking? Not bad. If you're really talking Northern Delaware, 3 to 4 still project it. Your weather app only says an inch for Central New Jersey. I'd be surprised if you only got an inch. NWS likes closer to 5, although we have a lot of warm air moving in right now. We'll look at our latest HRRR. This will be very helpful for us. This is within 12 hours. The HRRR is our best model to look at, basically. So I'll give you a look at this. Let's get back in here. Here's our latest HRRR. Let's go all the way up to the 19Z. Sorry, 1 second. There we go. Latest HRRR still likes 2+ into central and northern. So if you're actually talking central, if we're talking this sector right here, still likes 2+. Very good short range model, obviously. We can look at our NAM 3K. NAM 3K still 2+ this sector and up. Near the coast might be tough, but National Weather Service is being super bullish on this. I don't know why. And that's why I've been saying this whole stream I'd pull these totals down a little bit. But the National Weather Service does like the possibility of this is expected. This isn't the high end snow totals. This is the expected snow totals. NWS likes those totals a lot higher, which is interesting. But yeah, I'm pulling back on that. I'm disagreeing a little bit with the National Weather Service because I'm not a bandwagon, guys. Yeah, that's the new. This is the newest HRRR. HRRR has been really conservative this year in a lot of places, though. So I would almost add an inch to this HRRR right here. Projections. Tropical Tidbits is great for hurricane season. I don't like it as much for winter, but yeah, Tropical Tidbits is great. Pivotal's awesome. Another storm coming for Connecticut after this one? Potentially, yeah. I'll show you guys that in a second. As snow forms in New York City, will there be a lot of heavy bands? Possibly. Yeah, you always get someone who outperforms and someone who underperforms. As I've said, what is my dog doing? As I've said, snow does not move in just a big blanket. You have areas that get lucky with snow bands, and then you could be like 5 miles to the west. You could get 5 inches somewhere. 5 miles to the west, they get an inch. It's weird. It's more of like, what is the average over the area going to be? What is the average over the area going to be? So that's why some people get really upset when they're like, you said whoever's going to get 4 and I got 2. And then you can go and look and you're like, hey, 10 miles to your east, they got 4 inches. Snow doesn't move in a perfect blanket. It bands. So when we say snow totals that's why I don't like saying snow totals for like a specific city more than like a region, because banding is impossible to predict, guys. We're trying to predict how high the cloud tops, how much convection is going to be in a specific cloud above your head that's actively developing and changing as the snow system is moving through. So It's more like, hey, this is going to be the average snow in your zip code, but there's going to be different cities potentially in that zip code that are going to see slightly different snow totals. I mean, you can almost see it when you zoom in here. Some of these, I just go, look, it's like 4, you move a little bit, 6, you move a little bit up here, 4, 2, 1. It can change quickly. I think the NAM 3K does a good job at showing how banding can work. I mean, it's like, look, 5 here. It's like 5 inches right here. Oh, and then down to an inch. Oh, and then back up to 6 inches right here, all within this little area. Okay, snow should be moving to Philly right now. Above Atlanta probably isn't going to get any. Yeah, you guys are like a 10 to 20% chance of seeing a half inch to an inch of accumulation right now. But you wouldn't see any mixing. It would be a good ratio if it did fall. No problem, Audrey. North Carolina usually is the one who underperforms. It is. Is the HRRR model. HRRR model should be basically one of our most accurate models within 12 hours. It just should be. It's not always, but it should be. Some models saying, 16 current viewers, cool. Some models saying South Carolina coast getting 3 to 4 inches. In a couple models saying 1.5. Yeah, I think 1 to 2 inches is more likely. But 3 to 4 inches would be your high end. That's possible. South Carolina. Well, South Carolina doesn't underperform more than North Carolina. South Carolina is just farther south, so they get less snow, typically. And South Carolina is even more low elevation than North Carolina. So, yeah, Donald, North Carolina, just because of elevation and latitude, should get more snow than South Carolina. But when it comes to overperforming, it's who outperforms their averages. Charlotte, didn't see any recorded snow at their airport for over 1,000 days until earlier in the season. Most accurate model overall for weather. The HRRR. No, I think the HRRR does a lot actually better with winter weather than actual summer rain and thunderstorms. It does really well looking 12 hours out. Anything past 12 to 24, the HRRR is kind of a mess. Yeah, HRRR has like no snow bands forming in New York City. Yeah, but the HRRR doesn't know. It tries to predict where the snow bands are going to be. It's almost always going to be wrong exactly where it thinks. Wilmington, North Carolina. Let me see here. I mean, right now you guys look pretty good for snow, but you would probably get ice as well. You'd probably get a combination. Let me show you something here. Here is, let's go down to our latest Euro freezing total. So you can see right here, this would be ice mixing sleet. This would be falling with the 1 to 2 inches or the 1 to 3 inches that is projected on the coast. So you would have to expect that if it says 3 to 4 inches, take half of that and turn it into sleet or freezing rain. So there'd probably be a combination of that. Yeah, I mean, upstate South Carolina is going to be tough to get any snow. If we get the high, there's a 10% chance you guys get like an inch, 1 to 3 inches, but that's a smaller percentage. We're going to need that low to deepen as it moves through off the coast, which is a possibility, but it's going to be tough. In Jersey, we get 3 inches and people go on with their lives. But if we get even an inch in South Carolina, everything shuts down. I know. Same with North Carolina. Same with North Carolina. Give me 1 second, guys. One second. Thanks for your patience. Okay. 1 second. I wanted to see if TikTok Live is working yet. Still unable to go live? Oh my gosh. National model is saying 90% chance New York City gets 4 inches is crazy. I know. I know that National Weather Service thinks New York's almost definitely going to get over 4 inches too. We've already started off with a slight underperformance. Not a major underperformance for these areas up here. A slight one. We expect it mixing on the front end. So the north goes crazy while the south is used to it. Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah. I mean, like if you're talking about like your severe thunderstorms, tornadoes, and stuff like that. Mableton, Georgia. Oh, okay. So Atlanta. Just say Atlanta. Yeah. I mean, region-wise, that's not going to Mableton to Atlanta is not going to change with this. What you get with this storm, you know, national blend percentage-wise still gives you 20-30% chance to get up to an inch up through this corridor. You're more likely than not going to see just a dusting to a quarter if you see anything. At this point, I don't expect again the tracking of our snow system to the south to make a big leap north. Now we've got our Euro 12Z. But there's still a decent chance we could see the low deepen. I almost just fell out of my chair. We could see the low deepen a little bit, expanding that snowfield to the north. There is. I mean, listen, there is a chance. That's why the NWS shows this and then shows the high-end potential, right? So your high-end potential thinks you guys could see 8 inches, 9 inches. Your expected total is lower. Your expected total, they want you to see closer to 5 to 6. So there's still a chance for the high end in Connecticut. Live is not till Monday, probably. Yeah, Leanne, I was thinking that too, because it's probably a little bit more like they want him to be in office because since he's the one who made the agreement before we can actually live, because live stream is a little bit more significant than just scrolling through, basically. So I'm guessing Monday or Tuesday live comes back. Pilot Mountain area, North Carolina. I don't know where that is. If it's in Appalachia, Appalachia's expected to get some okay snow. I don't think I've ever looked at more cities in my entire life. Let's see. Pilot. Oh, you guys are just to the northwest of Winston-Salem. I mean, yeah, that'd be tough. That'd be tough to see any. I really want to show you guys what's going on a little bit farther out here. Let me pull back. We may be looking at another system, although I don't think the Euro loves it on this latest run. But we may be looking at a different system here. So moving forward past that system, yeah. So the Euro has almost disappeared. The one after we had this moving out, and then we had the potential. We'll see. I'll see what the GFS says. We have the potential for another system up the coast here. The Euro doesn't love it. I'm not surprised. You can see it actually here wanting to form. This may turn into a little snow again. The Euro doesn't love it. 100 hours out, the Euro's pretty good at this stuff. Still potential that turns into something. Cold air sticks around. Oh, God, another trough here. Wow. And then as we get into early February, like I said, it looks like a little bit of a warm up. Lots of cold. Let me tell you something right now. Let me tell you something right now. This time frame, okay. I haven't spoken about this, and I've been thinking about this, and I haven't seen anyone talking about it. We need to talk about this. I think they're missing a snowstorm next week. Here's why. Let's get a little bit deeper here. That's what she said. Okay. Okay, really quickly. Sorry. Kid-friendly channel. Here's why. Look at our EPO. Okay. So we've still got a dip right here. in our EPO next week. North Atlantic Oscillation. We've got our NAO beginning to dive again here as well. That's a sign for, or getting closer to neutral for activity out east. Western Pacific Oscillation. This is important as well. Negative WPO is going to put cold air in the east again, with a close to neutral NAO and a still negative EPO. This, I am shocked that models aren't showing some sort of snow system. Someone clip this so we can talk about how I was right when we get into the middle of not this upcoming week, the next week after. Something's not right that these models aren't showing something around that, we'll say 26 to 29th time frame. 26 to 28th time frame. Out east. Maybe in the south, but we'll see. I think it may be I think it may be a third winter storm system in the south for one more chance in January, because we don't know what's going to happen in February yet. Something, I've seen this look before, especially negative on the WPO, Western Pacific Oscillation. I'm just saying, I think over the next few days, we're going to see models start to look at something. Last thing I want to show you in accordance to that, really quickly. And let me move out here. Okay. I want you guys to watch this. So, first of all, look at our February. Shifting, this is what I was talking about. Shifting some cold air back out west. But this is what I want to show you. One second. Okay. This is going to be... All right, we see this dive here. All the models see this diving again, this big troughing. This is because of a negative WPO. I think this gets amplified. If this does get amplified, which is what our teleconnections want, we're going to have another shot right here. I'm telling you. Now, I would give like a 20 to 40%, 20 to 30% confidence in this right now, but I think my confidence is going to shoot up over the next few days. I don't know how to explain it properly, but that teleconnection look and all the models this far out agreeing on this cold air troughing again, with a WPO, with the almost neutral NAO, like I said, a negative EPO still, you typically see something happen. You typically see a winter storm out here again. Maybe it's a little bit farther to the north, but I'm just saying, 26th to 29th time frame, I would watch. Pay attention to. Mark it down. Put it on your calendar. All right. Penguin, I hope you're cooking right now. Just saying. I think I am. Well, listen, in December, I said I thought there'd be at least 2 southern snowstorms, which we're going to have. And that we'd have a very, very cold January, and that it would switch over into February. I cooked on that. I may not be cooking on this, but I think I'm cooking again. We're going to have to wait and see. In a few days, I think the models are going to show something through that time span, potentially for the south again. We'll see. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I've seen that look before. One more cold blast would be nice before summer starts in March. Yeah, we're going to get more than one. How do you think snow will be in northern Illinois at the end of January, February? We especially getting into February, we're going to get some snow back up into the northern plains and Midwest likely. That's because our troughing pattern has our jet stream's been sitting like this. Ridging, okay, high pressure, low pressure, troughing out here. We're expecting a little bit of shift when we get into February to have a jet stream more like this. And when this happens, you get your storms riding the jet stream. So you get your snowstorms through this region again instead of all your snow out here. So they start going towards here and forgetting here. So Southwest, Northern Plains, Midwest, we'll probably see a little bit more enhanced snow and higher chances for snowstorms moving into February. Fort Meade? I don't know where that is. Okay, so just south of Baltimore. So between Baltimore and DC. I think these These numbers are a little bit bullish from the NWS, so I would say 1 to 2 is what you should expect. You could get a little bit more of some banding. Well, New Jersey get a lot today. The app says less than an inch. South Jersey, 10 miles from Philly. Yeah, you know, you have a possibility of overperforming, and that's because our low it's deepening. Here's our low now, center of our low. I'm over on radar omega, but I would expect more than an inch if you're 10 miles from Philly. I would expect more than an inch. The NWS is going crazy. Thinks 3 to 4 expected totals. We can look at our latest HRRR 19Z, really good short range model. Really good short range model. You can see how this stuff is really expected to kick up. And we'll go 19Z. Even our HRRR thinks it's close down there to Philly. You could still get 2 to 3 inches at least. 10 miles away from Philly in Jersey. Look at this radar, guys. Heavy bands moving through, beginning to move through Philly up towards Trenton. What are the chances of the Euro model shift towards the north? 10 to 20% chance. But it's not going to shift drastically anymore. We would need the low pressure to deepen to move that snow to the north now. Which it could. Snow in Livingston, New Jersey. I don't know. Okay, I got to stop looking up cities because I can't answer everyone's questions every time I look up cities. Just tell me what region it's in. Every time I have to look up a city, I miss like 10 comments and I feel bad I'm not answering everyone. I live really close to New Jersey. I still don't know all the cities in Jersey yet though. I've lived in Charlotte and South for most of my life, so a few of the model runs have showed Four Corners low riding in the Midwest next week. What? Here's our GEFS. Our GEFS doesn't really want any snow through the Midwest next week. Atlanta, Georgia, a little north of downtown. Yeah, I mean, you guys aren't really expected to see much. Dusting to a half inch at most. If our low does deepen more than expected down here, you'll see it move north. That's, again, why the NWS has the totals like this. That thinks if you got extremely lucky, about a 10% chance, you could push 2 to 3 inches. 10 to 20% chance. So I wouldn't expect it, but it's still a lingering possibility. I don't know where Livingston is. Tell me where it is in New Jersey. I can't keep looking up places because then I can't answer anyone's questions. Snow chances in Jersey looking for February. Beginning of February, I think it's going to slow down for us on the East Coast. End of February, it might pick up again. Things are getting crazy. The area I live in along the Texas coast is under winter storm watches. I know. Did the Euro update last night shift the southern snowstorm north? Like barely. Answered Atlanta. Don't know where West Essex County is. Oh, Freehold, Central. Yeah, I mean, listen, the NWS wants 4 to 5 inches of Central New Jersey to the north. I would say expect 2 to 3 Central New Jersey, and then up to the north you could approach 4 to 5. These totals are a little bit bullish. This would probably be more of a high end. We were supposed to get widespread inch. Oh, 1 second, let me look at something. Okay, we're supposed to get widespread inch, 2 inch storm. A heavy small band formed right next to my area. We got 11 inches of snow. And 2 miles from us, they got 2 inches. Yeah, Nick, that's what happens sometimes. Banding can be wild. The way some of these snow bands can set up can literally drastically change your snow totals. That's crazy, actually. You gonna be on the next few days while the winter storm Billy Bob comes through? Yes, I will be. I'll be live streaming every single night. Eventually, I'll be doing this full time, and I'll be able to stream during the day. But I got a full-time job still. I do this full time, but another full-time job. How's Dallas looking for snow? Listen, if you guys get anything more than a dusting to a quarter inch, I'd be shocked. But you know, our Euro ensemble still gives you guys about a 10 to 20% chance of seeing an inch or more. How are the snow chances in Jersey? Oh, I already answered that one. Let me go back down here. Sorry, 1 second. Raleigh's just cooked. Yeah, it's going to be hard for Raleigh to get snow here, but we'll see if that low, if the system starts to tilt. There's a reason they have a high end total and they still put snow up there. That's because, you know, we still could see this system tilt as it moves down in the south. We still could see it happen. And if there was 1 week of spring, the south gets. Listen, spring tornado season is supposed to be wild, guys. I'm just saying, get ready for it. San Marcos. I don't know where San Marcos is. I'm trying not to go in and zoom in and look up every city so I can answer people's questions. Livingston is in western Essex County. I don't know where Essex County is. I guess I'll look it up. One second, guys. I try to look up as many places as I can for places I don't know, but then I have to stop talking to chat and then 20 more questions get asked and then I have to skip them all. So that's why sometimes I try to just like if it's a you know, so I mean to the northwest of Newark is what I would have said if I was you, because I could have answered that question super quickly. I would have answered that question 10 minutes ago. Just because it's, you know, I don't know every single city and every single state. Yeah, NWS likes 5 to 7 in your area. I would pull that back and say 4 to 6 on the high end, just based off of what we've seen already transpire. Is it snowing here outside? Answer Dallas. Oh, you said that. West of Newark. Sorry, Bryce. Yeah, I mean Connecticut, I would say 4 to 5 is safe, but someone's gonna get more than expected there and could push 7 to 8 inches, I think. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina snow amounts right now, they like 1 to 2, but there's gonna be mixing and a little bit of freezing rain with that, Tyler. So I want to see what our later today what our short range models think. Watching the Eagles game and it's coming down good. Hold up, is it snowing where I am? I'm just north of Philly. There's no snow falling. I'm literally just north of Philly. Most likely just the coast of South Carolina, though. I think the low will deepen a little bit more than projected, and some of that snow will push in a little bit farther. So you could possibly push an inch all the way up to Columbia, but this is going to be tough. The Euro really does agree with this sector right here and likes the heaviest snow through here. These next days cannot go by any slower. Yeah. What is the Cape supposed to get? The Cape is not supposed to get much with this system. If you guys got an inch, if you guys got 2 inches, I'd be shocked. I'd say a half inch to an inch and a half. But if you're really far out in the Cape, it's going to be mostly rain. Western North Carolina, listen, Appalachia could see 4+ inches, 6+ in some local areas. But if you're talking about Western, not up in the mountains, you're not really expected to see much. Florida Panhandle is getting actual. Well, we don't know if it's going to get measurable snow. I think some of that might be just be mixing, but yeah, it's still possible. I was telling you the other day, if we get any snow on the 21st, it'd be exactly 2 years to the day. That's a good day for your area, then. Can they cancel school in Dallas for this? I don't think they would. I don't think they would in Dallas. I know, the exact same day. That's crazy. All Louisiana going to get snow, except the area I live in to the northwest. What, up towards Shreveport? We could still see this move north, but yeah, it's going to be tough up there. My weather app just said winter storm warning around Hammond, LA, 15 miles east of Baton Rouge. Yeah, not surprised. But the odds of getting 1 to 3 inches in Raleigh, I'd put it at like a 10% chance. Not impossible. Gracie, what's going on? I know. I'm glad TikTok's back. I can't go live on it right now, but it's cool seeing the YouTube grow. I appreciate that, Gracie. South Carolina coast is still looking at 1 to 2. We'll see when we get our short range models in about 12 hours that we can see through the South Carolina coast. We might see that go up or down just based on all the mixing and sleet that's going to be involved in that accumulation. Texas winter watches, just upgrade it to warnings. Yeah. Stay safe. I mean, people in the South, you're not used to this type of stuff, or the infrastructure at least isn't. So it's best to have, some, if you're going to get all the snow, some extra water, extra food in the house, bottled water, battery, stuff like that, just in case you get stranded inside for a little bit. Since the storm hasn't formed yet, how can you predict everything that's going to happen? Well, the National Weather Service, airports, and weather stations all across America release thousands of weather balloons in the middle of the day and in the middle of the night that go up through the troposphere and take a lot of data, including pressure changes, winds, moisture, temperature with height, all sorts of data. And then we get data from satellite imagery as well. And they send it all to these algorithms that apply it and that understand how our troposphere works, and they project what the most likely outcome is. And they're not going to be perfect down to a local level because that's impossible. But we saw a southern snowstorm like this almost 2 weeks out in the models. So how could the models have known 2 weeks ago we could get snow in southern Louisiana? Well, because of our data, because of our weather balloons and our satellite data, and these very advanced algorithms we have that are being plugged into these models. So you can't expect, but seeing down to a local tiny level, like when people want to know how much snow you're going to get, not here in this region, but right here, that's almost impossible. It's a very these weather balloons aren't set up into the sky every 10 miles in every state. They're set up like maybe here and here and here and here and here and here. So you get a regional look at what's possible. It's impossible down to a state level to project. You would need to be God himself to see that. Um, 10 to 20% chance you could still see it over an inch in Charlotte. We're going to need to see that low pressure deepen as it moves off to the south. We aren't getting any snow north of Philly. Not right now, but we will. We will get plenty of snow north of Philly, trust me. We're in the warm sector, but it's quickly transitioning. It actually just started snowing right outside my window. It's snowing heavily right now. I'm 20 miles north of Philly. Yep. And this is not grapple anymore or mixing. It's pure snow. So we can actually see what's happening on windy. This band is moving in. And this right here is moving up. And this right here is going to really start to fill in snow. So Mooresville. I have family who live in Mooresville. Yeah, same thing with Charlotte. What's the latest Euro model look like? I'm so frustrated. I can't get on to do my dual stream on TikTok. Here's our latest Euro. Let's get this bad boy back over here. Here's our latest Euro if you want to just look at snowfall projections. Whoa. So Obviously, once you get into the gray, this is an inch or less. The blues going into 2+. The pinks around 5+. Nate, TikTok is not allowing streaming right now. It's really annoying. Yeah, you can't see any of your live content because it's not allowing anyone to live stream. So frustrating. How's the jet stream looking for coming back towards Wisconsin? Very good. Very good in the beginning of February. For storms back towards Wisconsin. Donald, I appreciate that. The fans from LA, Philly for the game are having buyer's remorse, right? How much snow in Houston? Listen, northern metropolitan Houston and northern and eastern metropolitan Houston really could see over 3 or 4 inches of snow. So, like central downtown Houston could get a lot of mixing that brings those snow totals down to maybe even only just an inch or two. So the latest Euro is super bullish on snow there still. This is one area I think the NWS is doing better. I think the NWS is over projecting snow in the Northeast, but I think it's doing okay with around Houston. I think maybe you should expect, if you're like in downtown Houston, you should expect 1 to 2. You could outperform and get around 4, I think. The Euro thinks 6. I'll say 6 is the high end. We've consistently seen models agreeing on this. This is one thing that's actually been the most consistent over the last few days. Although this was a slightly more to the north, but this band right here hasn't really moved much. And it really sets up right to the north of Houston. Is there a chance for a storm to move north? It could shift a tiny bit north, but we could get the snow line moving north if the low pressure deepens. Lake effect snow can weirdly sometimes make it over to Philly because sometimes the lake effect snow can be so intense it creates its own kind of storm system clipper that moves out, but it's like super rare. It kind of happened the other day. We got like a ½ inch outside. What was it, like a few days ago? And that was kind of what happened. It's not really lake effect. It's kind of it creates its own little clipper system that moves east if the air's cold enough. Upper South Carolina. I know, Gracie, I know. It's raining right now, 10 miles east of Philly. Yep. Your cold air hasn't pushed in yet. We were literally raining here like an hour ago, just north of Philly, and it just moved over to snow. So you guys are going to be a little bit farther east you go. It's going to take you longer to convert over to snow, but you're going to get a short period of heavy snowfall in parts of North Jersey. It's going to be short, but it's going to be heavy, and it's going to be good accumulation. So that window is going to need to be really good for you guys, but it's going to happen. Yeah, we're getting accumulating snowfall here again. No problem, Tyler. Yep. I might get off just for a little bit here, guys. I want to watch the Philly game, and I'm going to be back on later. In probably like a few hours. Maybe closer to 8, 9. Going over all this stuff and all the latest updates. Let me quickly answer a couple more questions in here. Do I think Georgia will have a good snow in February? I think mid to late February may be okay. The beginning of February, I think, is going to be slow for the East Coast. Yeah, mid to late February. Chances of 3+ in Columbus, Georgia. Low. Low. Here. I mean, NWS likes what? 1 to 2? Our Euro likes a lot less. Our Euro likes... no, our Euro likes about 2 as well. You know what? You're not going to have mixing issues through Columbus. You're going to have mixing issues to the south of Columbus. So you could get a 5 to 1 plus ratio up in Columbus. So I'd give you about a 50-50 shot of 3 inches. Just because you're not going to have any mixing issues. Do you think New York City is going to overperform? Based on what the National Weather Service says 5 to 6. I think it'll underperform. But I was saying yesterday 3 to 4 is a better probability for New York City. So based on what I said, I think it's, you know, it'll perform exactly like that. But I think it's going to underperform the NWS right here projection. So feed the wild birds while snow. Yeah, right. Looks like they're playing with a block of ice instead of a football. That's funny. There's a possibility of another storm into next weekend in Connecticut. Yes. It's going to be tough, though. God, is this grapple again falling? Oh. Interesting precipitation outside my window. I'm actually going to post it on my story. Okay, I'm going to get off for a little bit. I'm going to be back on in 3 to 4 hours, guys, going over all this tonight. So I will see you then. I'm also going to post another video on some of these updates. So, and yeah, I mean, TikTok Live probably won't be working for a few days again. Hopefully it starts working tomorrow or the next day, but we'll have to see. I appreciate you guys being in here. Sorry I couldn't get to all the questions. I'm going to put out another update on YouTube and TikTok, another video in about an hour or two with updated projections, because I think the NWS may have screwed up a little bit on this snow total projection. So I know people are really concerned they're not going to see any snow in southern Jersey now. I don't think that's correct. Or in like DC. I think we're going to get a lot of back end snow. And I'll give some more updated projections on down here. I need a second to look at some of the models. I haven't had a ton of time to dive back into all the latest models. And so I want to do that, and I want to post another video in a couple hours and then go back live and talk about it a little bit later on today. I will see you guys then. Shout out to the mods.